Good afternoon. Welcome to day 2 here at the GVA Wind Festival in beautiful sunny Geneva. My name is Sandy, and as you can see behind us, we've got perfect conditions for the tow-in, and I'm joined in the booth by one of the event organisers, Quintin Mayrat. Quintin, how are you?
Very good, and you?
Yeah, very good. It's nice to be here.
It's nice to welcome you here in Geneva.
I know, we're very excited to be here, and we've got perfect conditions for what we want. And unfortunately, we didn't really get the wind yesterday for the foil style, but at least today it looks perfect for the tow-in.
It's how it works with our sport. Sometimes there is wind, sometimes there is not.
Yeah.
The important thing for our event in Geneva is to throw an amazing show with amazing athletes and to let the people from the city, that they have the chance to see them and to see what they are capable of.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the unique things about this event is, we are surrounded by a whole city, and most of the time, these windy locations where we're going windsurfing, you're surrounded by nature. It's completely different. But here, we are right in the middle of the city. We saw 2 years ago, you get a huge crowd coming to the center here, Tropical Geneva, and watching it. What's that like for you as an event organizer to see the crowd and everyone enjoying windsurfing?
When I look from the athlete points of view, I think it's super cool to have a public, a crowd behind you, pushing you. We saw Sam and Steve doing a triple burner 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was the first time in windsurfing history without wind, of course. But towing allows us, to democratize the windsurfing, to show what true windsurfing is capable of, and then pushing the limits of the sport, pushing it forward, and trying to get new people into the sport, because here we are in a beautiful windsurfing school. So the thing is to have the kids and the family and to allow them to see what this sport is capable of.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. That's such a good point. And, there are those people out there that kind of, they don't necessarily like that tow-in discipline and, it's not real windsurfing and things like that. But as you said, if young kids, things like that, can see these amazing tricks and these guys going 15 feet in the air, these crazy moves, suddenly they go look at it and they go, oh, maybe I'd like to learn that. And that's how the sport grows,
Yeah, you have a lot of windsurfers lovers in Switzerland. And I think it's good to bring that closer to the public, and it's what we are trying to do. We are trying also to push the sports and the athletes by having a good prize money and allowing them, to live with their sport. It's not only their passion; it's also their job.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to take our part of the job here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it helps the riders as well. Get more of a show and show everyone up who they are as well. I say the tide rises all ships. It helps everyone. Everyone up.
Especially for freestyle, because freestyle, needs a decent tour, and you are doing it very well.
Yeah.
It's not so good nowadays with the PWA, only 2 events. But we need to have a nice tour for the freestylers. It's a lot of work all year long for them, so we need to put them under the lights.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, let's take a little look at what we can expect from some of the action today. Insane action there, and that was only from the practice runs yesterday, and some of the riders got out earlier just for a little bit, again, kind of practicing, getting the lineup right with that wake boat that we've got, and that's what really makes a difference here compared to some of the other tow-in events we've had, Quintin, having that huge ramp so that they can really showcase the air moves.
Yeah, it's not just a simple tow-in show. It's a big and huge towing show with a big ramp, powerful wake surf boat, and a powerful winch, you know. They can almost go to 80 kilometers per hour, you know, into the wave and get like go really, really high. And that's amazing to see.
Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday. You know, some of the jumps we saw, you know, especially from the 2 years ago when we had the event, they're doing, you know, triple air rotations, the height that we see wave sailors doing back loops and things. You know, it kind of has to be seen in live action, really, doesn't it? But to see it in the videos as well, you know, as you saw there, some of the riders practicing, they're going so high, but it takes a while to figure out, doesn't it, to get it right with that ramp.
Yeah, it takes a while. It's easier for the best riders and the top 3, top 5, you know, Jentel, Lennart, you know, very easy for them, Balz, you know. But we also try to put new riders into the loop, you know, every year, and allowing people that have never done towing in their life, you know, to try with this ramp. We have like some young girls from Switzerland competing, you know. It's very nice. It's a challenge for some people, even very advanced windsurfer, to get to the wave.
Yeah.
This is already difficult, and I think that it's like very important to push people, you know, and to help them improve their skills and their level.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's kind of part of it, and part of the kind of ethos of the Freestyle Pro Tour as well, is getting these kind of young up-and-coming riders that wouldn't have necessarily had a chance to do it before. You know, because towing, it's not like windsurfing. You know, you already need enough gear to go windsurfing, but to do towing, you need a winch or a jet ski and the rope and everything. So the only way some of these riders can practice it is by coming to events. So it's great, yeah, as you said, you know, some of the girls and the younger riders practicing. You can see George Grizzly on screen there, a new duotone international rider. He's had a lot of experience with towing, but that was his first time using that gear. You know, he's never been on it before. He said yesterday he managed to put his feet in the foot straps, lift the mast out of the water, and he went to put his hands on the boom, and he missed the boom because then his new boom is a different shape. So he just put his hand there and dropped the sail, you know. So even an experienced rider on new gear, it's still
and yesterday especially it was like very choppy, you know, so the conditions weren't easy. So we're gonna for sure we open some slots for George Grizzly this afternoon. We had the chance to practice, to improve, and maybe to match some of the top riders. You know, we'll see. It will be interesting.
Absolutely. And speaking of riders, we've got the riders up on screen now. So we've got Jentel Kers, George Grizzly, Lennart Neubauer, Balz Muller, Jamie Howard, and Teagle Court. So 6 riders. This is qualification 1. So the top 3, as you can see in the top left-hand side of the screen, the top 3 will advance through into the next round. And there will be 6 more riders going tomorrow. So tomorrow will be qualification round 2. So the other riders can relax. And then the 2 women in qualification round 1 today, Maika Hooverman and one of the young up-and-coming riders we were talking about from Switzerland, Lucy Honegger as well.
Yeah, Jentel told me that he will go hard today.
Yeah, well,
he will unleash the beast.
I think he will. Yeah, he's coming off that big win. You know, he's now our freestyle world champion. Yeah, he seems very confident. He told me, he said his ankles are a little bit sore from sailing in silt. But he said he should be all good. He's been taking it easy. He's kind of just been doing a bit of pump foiling. We haven't actually seen him do any of the towing yet. Oh, he did a bit of foil style yesterday. But yeah, he's been relaxing. So I'm excited to see what's coming up.
Yeah, it's nice. And here in Geneva, I think they are in good condition. We have a camping area next to the windsurfing center. They're here with their van. You know, they can chill, relax all day long, enjoy the parties with us at night, and be here the morning.
Not too much, of course.
Not too much before the competition. We'll see after the show. And yeah, like anybody wants to come to Geneva the next years, you know, that see us online, you know, you're all welcome here in Geneva in order to enjoy the show with us. There are much to do online, you know, a huge program, and everybody is welcome here to enjoy our same passion, you know, together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can see on screen there, you know, it's such a beautiful location, and whilst we haven't necessarily got the wind, we've been super lucky with the conditions that we've had. Yeah, so, you know, that's the rider sat there on the platform. You can see the winch has been pulled out there. And first up, we have Jamie Howard. So basically, the way this is run, it's broken into 3 separate categories. We've got the combo category, we've got the air category, and we've got the regular category. Combination is basically what it sounds like it says on the tin. So we want to see a combination of moves, a flakka shaka, a double funnel. We want to see these guys popping like a skipping stone into multiple rotations. Okay, for the air, again, kind of describes what it says on the tin. Air is all about going as high as possible. That is where that wake boat that me and Quentin were just discussing comes into effect. So they will be jumping off a ramp, going as high as they can. Again, we want to see rotations, but the judges earlier in the skippers meeting said whilst they care about landings, things like that, they want to see you go high. And then finally, regular. Now, this is where it gets a bit confusing for those of you who aren't as versed in freestyle. Regular, technically, you could say is switch in towing, but it is that regular stance. So your kulos, your konos, things like shakas, and again, that is where, you know, it is kind of down to the judges to decide. You know, with the towing discipline, certain moves can look like others because you're kind of sailing back-winded. And speaking of towing, and talking about apparent wind, we have the Club Vass apparent wind manager with us, Mr. Andreas Rossler, up-and-coming Austrian rider from Lake Neusiedl, one of our tour locations. Was kind of, you know, a rookie coming up in the last couple of years, but really sending it now. Andreas, thank you for joining me in the booth.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude, it's good to be here, and we're going to be checking out some of the action. And first up in this combo section of the qualification, we have Jamie Howard on screen, British rider, a Club Vass alumni from yourself. He worked for Club Vass for a long time, has been kind of on the scene for a while, but disappeared for a couple of years, but has really made a statement coming back for the foil style in Italy, but also very talented with the towing. What do you think we can expect from Jamie, Andreas?
I feel like Jamie is quite good at the combinations.
Yeah.
He's really good at doing like doubles or even like triple combos.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna see like some nice air funnel burners maybe.
I think so. Yeah. He's a smooth operator. I had a bit of a chat to him just before he went out, and we were kind of discussing. He was like, "What do you think I should do?" and all this. And in my head, I'm like, he's like a cat. He lands on his feet so nicely. He lands everything so smooth. So I was like, dude, just land your move. Don't try anything necessarily too crazy. As I said earlier, there's 3 spaces to advance through. You know, so you have to think to a certain level. You've got to think quite tactically.
Yeah.
You know?
I will definitely go for something safe in the beginning.
Yeah.
To kind of like get a good basic score and then build from that.
Yeah. You had your first run with the air, with the wake ramp, you know, in the last couple of days. What was that like? What do you think these riders can expect? I mean, I know some of them have done it before, but yeah, what was that experience like?
For me, like the setup is pretty insane. Like the wrench is super fast, and also the wake is pretty big. So I think we're gonna see like some massive like doubles or even like triple air rotations.
Yeah.
So I think the guys are gonna start to fly.
Yeah, absolutely. So if those of you tuning in, if you're not too sure what the kind of towing is, as you can see, Jamie's standing up. He's got a winch handle in one hand. So this is probably the hardest part of towing when you're learning, is actually getting up and going and into the foot straps. So he's kind of standing up. He'll sit right on his back foot in that kind of crouch position, and he'll slowly lift the sail up as he starts to pick up speed, grab the boom, feet in the foot straps, and then he's nice and settled. So he's in that crouching position. If you are watching on Facebook or over on our YouTube channel, wherever you're watching, leave us a comment. Let us know which of the riders you're rooting for, what moves you want to see, and yeah, where you're watching from, what you should be doing instead. As we see Jamie effortlessly, he's up in the foot straps. What's he got for us? I'm going to say some kind of flakka shaka air double air funnel, something like that. Up to 80 kilometers an hour. You can see the water's nice and flat now.
Oh, catching the rail.
Oh, no. Oh, he's going to be so annoyed with that one. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, I think it kind of like caught
Not
the rail.
the start he wanted, As he let go, something strange happened. Nice and flat now. Let's see.
Oh! Catching the...
Yeah, caught the rail. He just didn't quite... He didn't leave the water.
Yeah, no, forgot to jump.
Forgot to jump. You can see he's annoyed with that one. Oh, man, that's really frustrating. Manolis tuning in on the YouTube channel. Let's see some great action. Enjoy, guys. Manolis, thank you so much. We wish you were here. Manolis obviously calling Prasanisi home. If you're going to call anywhere home, Prasanisi's a pretty good one to have, I think. But yeah, Jamie, he's not going to be happy with that one. He'll be looking to, and that's it. You know, you get one try.
Oh yeah, you get just one run. Yeah.
You know, he's had one try now, and that's it. And if you fall before you decide to do your move, you know, say you do it and you catapult, something like that, you get one more go. But, you know, once he's done that and let go and gone to try his move, you know, that's
so
it.
pretty much once you let go and you jump and you take off, that counts as a try.
100%, yeah. He crashed his move. You know, whether he'd done 2 huge moves and fallen in or whether he fell in like that, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, taking to a windsurf board, Bals Muller.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the air category,
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole thing. It's, you know, he's doing a lot of different sports now. He's especially doing a lot of foiling, both winging and windsurfing.
Definitely,
we saw some insane clips of him in Pozo, though, windsurfing this summer, doing like
his
shifty forwards and, you know, insane pascos, shifty shakas, all this. So it's not like he's moved away from windsurfing at all. And we're really excited to have him here for both the foil style and the tow-in. Yeah, let's see what he's got. I think he's going to try something really strange. Or what do you think? Sometimes he plays it safe. He played it safe in Silt, with that, and found himself, doing really well.
It's difficult. I haven't really seen him doing like toe-in flat water stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
As we see bows straight up, hopefully, yeah. What's he got for us? As I said, getting towed in at 80 kilometers an hour, loads of speed. Look at the chatter on the board there.
Oh.
And there it is. Stomps the double funnel.
A nice air funnel, yeah.
Huge one there. Air funnel there. Yeah, absolutely stopped it. Flipped the rig at the end. He's going to be really pleased with that one. Hands in the air. That's probably, I'm going to say, exactly what Jamie Howard wanted to do.
Yeah,
Jamie's going to be sat there watching that like, yeah. Frustrated. Bowles living it up for the Swiss crowd, the home crowd.
Claiming it.
Yeah. Awesome action. As you can see, the crowds are slowly starting to arrive on the rocks there as Geneva finishes work and looks for something fun to do in the evening. I think they're going to find their way to tropical Geneva and join us for the windsurfing show. And as I was saying to Quintin, one of the great things about this event, and also towing, towing does have its naysayers. People don't like it as a discipline. No, it's not true windsurfing. But the fact that we can bring this kind of action straight to people who have never seen windsurfing before, suddenly, especially kids, they look at that. Kids like tricks, don't they?
Yeah, it's really spectacular. And you can do it at places where normally you can't really windsurf. That's a good thing.
Exactly. You can bring, the highest level freestyle windsurfing to the middle of a city in Europe, which is exactly what we've done. I'm sure for you, growing up in near Neusiedl and things, you probably saw the competitions and you were like, this is it. This is what I want to do,
Yeah, for me, like the towing was always like a highlight to watch.
Yeah, I bet.
Because normally you don't see the guys going that big and that fast.
Yeah.
So it's definitely really inspirational.
Yeah,
to see.
And right in front of your eyes, sitting on the beach, it's great to see. Another heavy here. This is a stacked list of athletes we've got today. Lennart Neubauer coming off his first event win in Silt. His career, I'm not going to say it was, but it was completely halted by a big injury last year, and he was basically off the water for almost a year. So for him to come into this, he's going to be really stoked, after Silt. And he seems really chilled. He seems really relaxed. He's not stressed about anything. He's not overthinking it. Obviously he's got that Red Bull sticker and he's got the full support of Red Bull behind him, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
He's constantly at their training center. He said after this, he's going back there for 2 weeks to, work on the physicality a bit more, stay fit, before he comes to join all of us in Cape Town for the winter. So yeah, super exciting. Lennart Neubauer with the speed. Let's see what he's got for us. Drone struggling
really
to keep up. Letting go. He's super close. 1, 2.
Nice air funnel burner.
The air funnel burner right in front of the rocks.
Oh yeah. I came pretty close to the dock as well.
Pretty close to the dock behind. Yeah, the dock. Yeah, that was insane. Air funnel burner there from Lennart Neubauer. I mean, it's almost like, yeah, we know you can do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, mate. Let's do something a bit different. But equally, like we said with Jamie, he's got to play it safe. We want to see it. And here's it from another angle.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a qualifying round, so I think most of the guys trying to play it safe to get like a bit of a score going first.
Yeah.
And then for the finals, I think we're going to see like...
I also think there's a certain level of their kind of, not saving it, but saving a little something up for the air category, something like the regular. This combo one, this is more kind of traditional toe-in. This is, I'm not going to say it's what we've seen before, but it is kind of what we've come to expect. Like the air funnel burners, things like that.
Yeah.
As we see the boat. So basically, to break down the structure of how this is working, as you can see there, this is one of the boats. They are dragging the winch back out to the little island, the little dock where all the riders are hanging out, and it's kind of a circulation system. So one boat will be taking that, and you can see the other boat there is taking Lennart back out so he can sit, relax, and get himself ready for the air category coming up next. What are you thinking then? Air category, I think that's my favourite one. That's the one I'm most looking forward to.
Definitely, yeah. The air category and the full send one. Those are the highlights for me, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think the regular one is interesting as well because I think, and I'll have to, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure for the regular category, they can decide whether they want the ramp again or not.
Oh, yeah, they can, yeah. Definitely, yeah.
So I, having chatted to a couple of riders, I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys at home, but I've chatted to a couple of riders and they've said for the regular one, they're like, yeah, no, I want the ramp.
Oh.
So hopefully we're going to see
like
some
double culos or
double air culos, exactly. That's what we want to see. As we see, Jento Kers, our world champion, getting himself ready. He's on one knee. And what's he got for us? I'm very excited to see what he's got. I hope that he doesn't just do his own air funnel burner, but I think he probably will.
Yeah, I think
But
it's just like one of the safest move for them. They like can do
which is crazy.
Crazy
consistent. One of the biggest moves in the sport.
Yeah,
you know, to do an air funnel burner is crazy.
Yeah,
but yeah,
pretty much all of them have them on lockdown. It's just
especially in the toe in. You know, the torque that they get coming out of that air funnel, they just throw their kind of like shoulders and chest round into the next rotation.
Yeah, I talked to Jentle once about burners, and he said for him an air funnel burner is easier than a normal burner and toe in because you just get more momentum going.
Yeah. Exactly. They're kind of, you know, it's not so much about the gear and using the sail. It's throwing your body round and letting the gear follow it. As we see him coming in hot, there's the air funnel. And a second air funnel, and he goes down.
Lost the board doing the burner.
I mean, still pretty spectacular.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to say that definitely wasn't a burner. That was like air funnel, air funnel.
Yeah, it was a bit like, the axis was a bit different,
Yeah, it was more of a kind of flat spin, so that's how it's defined, you know. If it's more of a flat spin, we call it an air funnel. If it's more of a kind of cartwheel rotation, you find yourself much more over the sail's horizontal, then we call it a burner. Obviously, within toe-in, because you're not necessarily backwinded, but you kind of are.
Kind of are, yeah.
You know, you're the apparent wind manager, so you could say it's kind of a flacker punch, but it's, so there's the air funnel, then he goes for another one. Oh, and his feet came out. That's not what you want to happen. Another slow-mo replay there. So the air funnel goes round for the second one. Feet come out.
Yeah, it's definitely more air funnel the second one as well.
For sure. Big slam there for Jentle Kers. Again, not what he would have wanted, but, you know, still impressive. And as the judges said, they're like, obviously, of course, they care about landing. They want you to land the move. But if you're going big and doing something they haven't necessarily seen before, that's going to be of interest.
They're going to reward it, definitely,
100%. They're going to be excited about that. Yeah. Don't forget, if you are watching at home on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you let us know where you're watching from, what moves you want to see, which of the athletes you want to see going through into the next round. And don't forget, you can follow all the behind-the-scenes action on @Freestyle Pro Tour. We've got a lot of clips of the toe-in earlier today, including a couple of big moves from yourself, Andreas.
Thank you. I was trying some new stuff out.
Yeah, mate, it was a good show. It was a good show. It drew in the lunch crowd from Geneva. Again, the guys looking for something to do on their lunch break. We can see the crowd really starting to fill up now behind us on the rocks as people come down and enjoy the vibes here at Tropical Geneva. There's definitely nowhere I would rather be on a Thursday afternoon.
No, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, God,
it's always a good show.
Couple of guys. Jamie Howard didn't do what he wanted. Jentle didn't do what he wanted. I wonder if Jentle hasn't done any toe-in since he got here.
No,
and I wonder if maybe he should have done a couple of runs just to get the sea legs back.
It's quite different from normal surfing if you compare it.
100%.
Like the feeling of the move, it kind of is similar, but it also you have to do it slightly different.
Yeah, exactly. It all feels different. Like I said, it's a lot more about throwing your body around the rotation rather than, you know, something like a burner or, you know, air funnel, things like that. You kind of throw the sail up and round and you get that whip from the wind.
It's kind of missing in toe-in.
In toe-in, that's not there. You've got to throw your body so much more.
Yeah. And a factor that you also have to take into consideration is the speed. Yeah. Normally, you don't really go 80 kilometers an hour.
And that's why you see when they let go, they kind of wait for a few seconds.
For it a bit,
Yeah, you did that for ages the other day. I noticed, you know, and especially because you've kind of got to get used to it. And also, we'll see it for the air category, especially. You know, as you come up to that ramp, you want to kind of let go. You can get onto that front foot a bit more. You know, sheet in a bit with your sail. Get yourself right over the board before you pop into that move. So as we see, they're just bringing the winch back forward. Lucy Honegger there, me and Quentin discussed it earlier. One of the great things about these events is we do have, you know, these kind of younger, up-and-coming riders for both men and women who are kind of learning this toe-in discipline, you know. But let's go to an interview with Jentle Kers.
Not really the best run. I was not used to the speed, but, you know, that's what it is, and we still have 2 more runs to send it.
Okay, what do you plan for next one?
I think we have air, so just go big.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
There we go. Had it from Jento Kers himself. We were just discussing it, the speed.
Yeah, the speed.
And that's what threw him
It's
a bit.
definitely
Not
the
used to the
speed, yeah.
speed. And then, you know, if you go into it with that much speed, you're going to carry that speed out of that first rotation. I think that's what happened. He carried it out of that air funnel. He came out of the air funnel so quick that as he kind of jumped, I guess he just flew out the straps.
Yeah, and the thing is, for most of the moves, you don't really need to go that fast, especially in the combo category. You don't really need the speed because you're not gonna jump that high anyway. You kind of want to keep it low to do it like a safe first rotation and then go for
and then explode on the second one.
Explode on the second one, yeah.
Exactly. Kirill Kirillov, I'm watching from Bulgaria. I want to see any triple air rotation. Oh, yes, we want to see it. You know, obviously, Sam and Steve famously doing it 2 years ago here. Yeah, let's see if he can repeat it tomorrow, but also if any of the other riders can do it today. As we see, Lucy Honegger getting up for that toe. And I was talking just before we had the interview with Jentel, you know, an up-and-coming female rider from Switzerland doing it for the home crowd, only really learning toe-in for the first time. And it looks like she is going to be using that ramp as we see the wake boat. Let's go. And there it is, going for the shaka.
Oh, wow.
Thumbs up to say she's okay. Awesome there from Lucy Honegger. So again, you know, just learning, and that's one of the great things about the Freestyle Pro Tour, you know, the kind of inclusive nature of it, and that's what we want.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these guys, they don't get the opportunity to kind of practice toe-in without coming to events. You know, who has a jet ski and a winch and all this stuff in their back garden and somebody else to kind of run it for them while they do it? I mean, maybe if you do, then you're very lucky. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
But we're lucky enough to have enough windsurf gear as we go. There we go. Nice kind of shove it shaka thing there.
I got some good height there.
Oh, look at the ramp there as well. Thumbs up there just to let everyone know she's okay as we see her jump into the boat. So you might be wondering why we are mixing it up a little bit with the men and the women at home. Basically because we have some riders that do moves on different sides. Yeah. So regular stance and goofy stance. This is not to confuse it for the regular category later on, but the regular category is for regular stance moves like kulos, konos, things like that. Spots, obviously we have port and starboard. Okay, so the riders you've all seen there are running with their left foot forward. Okay, so they're essentially doing their moves on starboard tack. They've already ducked the sail, basically. Okay, so the riders that are going now do it the other way round. So we have Micah Hooverman in the women's, and then we have Teagle Court and George Grizzly for the men. So they like to do it with their right foot forwards. So they will just readjust it all slightly, and they will come in a bit differently. And it's just to make sure that it's fair for all the riders.
Yeah, definitely. You want to have the same conditions for everyone.
For sure. So basically the way it will work, so now we have the goofy guys, they will be doing their combos, and then we will go straight into those guys doing their air moves. So yeah, first up we have Micah Hooverman, you know, one of the most successful female freestylers ever. You know, European champion. Yeah, you know, she needs no introduction. And then we saw her doing the toe-in earlier, and she was doing some massive moves with the ramp. So I'm very excited to see what she's got. She's a real smooth operator. It's going to be good to see. Beautiful little water angle there we've got coming in. Kirill also wants to see a Skopu. I would love to see a Skopu. Not a move we traditionally see in the toe-in.
Not really. We've seen a few at the last event in Vesoul. There were a few Skopus.
Yeah.
But I think a few of the guys are going to try them also for the air category because it kind of slows down your fall when you come back down. It kind of acts like a parachute a bit. So it maybe gives you a bit more of air time.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, you know, having the ramp makes it much easier. The Skopu really is a move where, like, you need wind in the sail.
You need wind, yeah.
You know, so it's not like a burner or an air funnel or anything like that where you can kind of throw your body around it. You know, of course, there are some guys that can successfully do the Skopu. You know, Tonki Franz especially was a real specialist for the Skopu in toe-in. But it's such a hard move to get the kit back underneath you. Yeah, once you've thrown it all up over you, to bring it back down with no wind to kind of help you do that.
Normally you can use the wind to kind of push it back down.
Exactly.
But in toe-in you kind of have to do like a small Skopu, don't go that inverted, and then to really push down on that front hand to bring it back down.
And even then, in the toe-in, usually we only ever see it when there's like quite a bit of wind that we can use for that toe-in. Whereas today, you know, you can see on the screen there, the water's, I mean, it's basically glassy. You know, looking out, there's a tiny little bit of breeze, but no breeze that's actually going to affect the toe-in in the slightest. You can see there a couple of little wind lines, but, you know, also just patches of absolutely zero wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep the comments coming in, guys, on Facebook and YouTube. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for, as we see multiple European champion Micah Hooverman getting herself ready for this next run. This is the hardest part of towing, as we said. You
the
know,
launch, yeah.
getting up into it. When did you learn to do towing?
At the Rookies Camp 2020. That was
2021, I think, was it? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think
Yeah.
it was 2021, maybe. Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. As we see Micah Hooverman. So, yeah, as we said, 80 kilometers an hour. So you can see the line is slightly different because she is on the other side of the sail, coming in hot. One funnel, jumps round the second one, but she will go down. But right in front of the crowd
pretty
there.
close to the rocks, yeah.
Must be pretty scary heading towards those rocks.
Yeah, and just saw she kind of carved into the opposite direction than the others because she has her right foot forward.
Yeah.
So the other guys were carving to the right side of the screen now, and she kind of went to the left side of it.
You basically carve out onto your toes,
Yes.
don't you? You almost want to. It's a bit like wakeboarding. For any of you who wakeboard anything like that, you want to kind of push out away from that winch.
Yeah.
As we see her jump really nicely around that first one. Second one, just getting a little bit caught up. Again, kind of threw it forward, expecting the wind to rotate her, but. As we've been saying, you need to jump with your body a lot more than you usually would when you're normal windsurfing.
Definitely, yeah. But I think the judges will reward it quite high to come that close to the rocks because the crowd also likes it. Yeah, it is scary, but it also gives you a few more points, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's what they've said. They want. The tow in at the end of the day is all about the show. Of course, we have a competitive element to it because that's also interesting and it creates a bit of a storyline and it's exciting. But ultimately, the tow in, everyone's a winner at the tow in. You guys at home watching it, me and Andreas in the booth watching it, the cameramen, and of course the riders, the guys sitting on the beach enjoying it. Everyone's a winner with it because it's just a great show and it gives the riders a chance to showcase their skills in front of people that would never usually get to see it.
Definitely, yeah.
We've got the famous water fountain of Geneva in the background there. It was my first time in Geneva and we drove in and I was kind of like, what on earth is that? I think I'd seen it in the background of some of them before, but yeah, I'd never seen it. And as we see, the current scores coming up for qualification 1. So Micah Hooverman with a 4.625 for that kind of funnel popping into a second one. Lucy Honigo 1.75 for that Shaka attempt, opting to use the ramp. The wake boat is
quite
created.
unusual call for the combo category, yeah.
We like to see it. We like to see it. As we see Tigo Court, one of the young Browersdam rippers, also going the other way, sailing with that right foot forward in towing. That's his preferred stance. Getting to it, you can see just how fast it is. You see the drone struggling to keep up with him there. And then he will let go, and let's see what he's got. So stabilizing there. Same as Jamie Howard.
The rail.
Kind of just didn't quite manage to get that takeoff. Again, it looked like there. I mean, it'd be interesting to see it from another angle, but it looked like what we've been talking about. He threw the sail, expecting the wind to do it for him. But you need to be so much more dynamic with your body. Get yourself into a ball, throw your shoulder right over, and really get that rotation going. Yeah, look,
you saw he kind of waited for the wind.
He kind of threw that sail forwards, which may work. Yeah. He just didn't quite manage to line that pop-up. I mean, it's very easy for me and Andreas to be armchair windsurfers right now and just talk about it while we're sitting in a lovely, comfortable stool. But, from our point of view, that is kind of what it looked like, sadly. Air Chachu from Kirill. Yeah, I mean, if we could see an Air Chachu in the ramp, that would be amazing. That's exactly what we would like to see.
I've never seen an Air Chachu in towing, have you?
I don't think so. No. Hopefully, yeah. Only a few riders really. Well, it's become. I feel like it kind of went away for a while. Now the Air Chachu's really come back.
Definitely, yeah.
We're definitely seeing it a lot more in competition. Any competition where there's a bit of a ramp. We're seeing it. We've got Antoine Albert does it. Yentl, of course, does
really
it
consistent
in a
as
lot
well,
of his heats. Yeah. I was chatting to George Grizzly, new duotone international rider. He said that is the top of his list of moves that he wants to learn in Brazil this year. He's heading out to Jerry for some winter training in a couple of weeks. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting I'm actually going with him, so I'm very excited to sit on the beach and watch him do that, because I'll say it now, I will not be trying any Air Chachus.
Yeah, no, me neither. It seems really scary.
To do a forward and let go with your front hand as you're jumping, it sounds pretty terrifying.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Yeah, to see that in towing, that would be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think in the last event here we saw like some double air culo diabolo attempts from Yentl.
Yeah.
So maybe we can also
That's kind of got a bit of an air chachu element to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. As I said, with the toe in, it does kind of mix it all up a little bit. And as we see, we've just been discussing him, George Grizzly, on that brand new duotone gear. He's very, very stoked with it. It's his first few runs on it. He's still kind of getting himself dialed in with it. So let's see what he's got for us. Hopefully he's going to be throwing something epic. I know he's done a lot of toe-in training in the past. And there's one.
Yeah.
There's two. Catches the rail on the second one. But going in with so much speed there.
It's really tricky, yeah.
Yeah. But let's
kind
see.
of you need to speed a bit to get like a bit more of the wind going, but also you have like more uncertainty to catch a rail. It makes it a lot easier to catch a rail when you go that fast.
Yeah. And this is the problem. And it's one of those things, once you do it once, you kind of start worrying about it. It's a bit like any of you freestyling will know, if you're when you're first learning to Vulcan or Spock and you start hooking into your harness lines and then you think about it and it keeps happening.
Yeah.
So there we go. First jump. Second one goes round. And he just catches his heel side rail a little bit. So first one perfect. Was jumping around that second one really nicely. Caught the rail and in the drink he goes. Emmanuel on YouTube. At what speed are they going? So the winch tows them at about 80 kilometers an hour, I believe.
Yeah.
So significantly faster than if you're windsurfing normally, which is why it's a lot easier to get these kind of double rotations, things like that.
And the thing is, when you hold on longer and you kind of carve a bit out, you get like an extra whip.
Yeah, you get more acceleration, don't you?
So then I think we're gonna see a lot more in the air category. The riders kind of wait a bit longer to go a bit longer on the rail, so they're gonna get a bit more speed, so they can jump a lot higher.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is it for the combo category now for qualification 1. Next up, we are going into the air category.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever you're doing, don't go anywhere, because this is where it's going to get really exciting. This is where we are bringing that wake ramp. So far, only one rider opting to use it for that combo category, Lucy Honegger.
Yeah.
Deciding to use that ramp, go as high as she could and showcase what she can do for the crowd. Now, every single rider will be using that wake boat. And I, for one, cannot wait. First up for the air category, we've got Tigo Court.
Oh.
Young Browers Dam Ripper. So as I said, we'll be using the goofy riders will be going first, because then they need to slightly adjust the course. The boat will be coming from the opposite direction for the other riders that will be riding with their left foot forwards.
Yeah, they kind of have to change the weight in the boat because the wake is just created on one side. So for the other riders, they kind of have to shift the weight to the other side, which takes a bit of time. Yeah. And then all the regular guys are basically going to come.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, it's going to be this is exciting. We've got Tigo Court. Man, I've seen some videos him in Fuerteventura, things like that. He's a technical rider, but he also goes big.
Definitely, yeah, for sure.
He, I've seen in Fuerteventura, off the little kickers you get at Risco del Paso down there. He's doing these huge punches, big air flackers. I'm not sure if he can Pasco, but he's got some big moves.
Yeah, for sure.
And big air funnels as well, burners. He's got all those moves that he could line up for something really big off this ramp.
Definitely. I think we're going to see some big stuff going on now.
And those guys in Browers Dam as well, they are always on the water.
Definitely,
every time I go on Instagram, every time I go on any sort of social media, those guys are windsurfing. I swear that place is windy all the time. But yeah, all they do, they're always talking about, oh no, there's no wind, no wind, no wind. And I'm like, well, I swear you guys are just windsurfing all the time. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see what Tigo Court has got for us as we go into that air category. So we can see him getting himself ready now. Boats have got out the way. You can see further down. This is the judges' boat here. They're chilling out. They've got, I don't know, who's got a better spot, us or them? I think they've got a pretty good spot. They're sat out there on the houseboat, just out there. They've got a really good, clear view of the riders, kind of from side on, where they can really see what the riders are pulling off. And this is the current results for Qualification 1. Leonard Neubauer with a 7-point ride with that air funnel burner. We'll take a closer look at that once Tigo Court has finished his run. So 80 kilometers an hour going at a wake boat that's kicking up a big old wave. It's a pretty scary thing to do. And letting go. And whoa, there's that Pasco. Woo! Looks sick from that drone angle. Yeah, really started coming round there. Almost looked like he maybe let go a little bit too early. But, as I said, it's a pretty scary thing to do, to be getting pulled along and then you've kind of got to really time it. Well, you can tell us, you've been practicing the last couple of days. Have you played a little bit with kind of letting go at different times to see when
definitely.
you should be
The thing
doing
is
it?
you also have to adjust your angle to the wake a little bit.
Yeah.
if you let go too late, it happens a bit too fast because you need to grab your boom, you need to get your body over the sail again.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to let go a bit earlier, but if you let go too early, you of course lose all your speed and you're not going to jump that high.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a trade-off.
It also there, if I'm honest, it looked like he was a bit too far down the ramp. He'd hit the bit which was the whitewater. You want to hit it right where it's breaking, and that's what's really going to send you right up. And this is where, again, this is where the riders that have come to these events more are going to have the more experience, and they're going to know where to hit that ramp. Jentel, even Lennart, the guys that have done it before, they're going to know, right, actually, I need to be closer to the boat. But then it's also scarier. You feel like you're getting towed right towards a boat, So, yeah, it's going to be, you kind of need to...
practice it a bit, yeah.
Practice, and that's why we did the practice runs earlier, the last couple of days. Tigo obviously getting those runs in, but it just showcases, these are the best riders in the world, and it showcases how difficult this is to be lining this up. But I mean, what a show. Basically, if we had wind there, he'd have stopped. That would have been a big air funnel, basically.
Definitely.
He opened the sail out. He was coming down to kind of go round another one. And that's it as well, Obviously, without the wind, it is quite difficult to land these moves.
You have to land quite different. Normally, you can kind of use the wind to catch yourself again.
Yeah.
But in towing, you have to land like pretty straight on the board
over
to
the
be
middle
able
of the
to
board.
balance it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And really kind of pushing down on that boom. But yeah, it looks like he just hit the wave a little bit too far back away from the boat,
too late,
so he didn't quite get that lift that he really wanted. But equally, great performance there, from Tigo, and he should be stoked about it. Next up, we've got George Grizzly. This is what he loves, the air category. Going as big as he can. I'm excited to see what he's got. He did a big Pasco yesterday, and today, sorry, actually, in the practice runs. Yesterday, he wasn't so confident. This afternoon, much more confident. Knew where he was with the new gear. Let's see what he's got for us as we go towards the big ramp. 80 kilometers an hour. Let's go early.
Oh! Didn't quite catch the
Looks
landing.
like he kind of came out the straps a bit there. Yeah. We'll just see it from a different angle. But looks like as he jumped, he kind of came out the foot straps. Again, this is one of those things, you have to wedge those feet in. But
Definitely, yeah.
It's that playoff. How injured do you want to get? So went round, back foot comes out halfway round. Unlucky for George there. Not what he wanted at all.
But the thing is about the air category, the judges are scoring like the time you spend in the air.
Yeah, they're counting seconds, aren't they? They want to see.
So they are filming it, and then they're pretty much looking at it in slow-mo and counting the seconds you spend in the air.
Yeah.
So it actually doesn't really matter what you do as long as you go big and stay.
Yeah.
Have a lot of air time.
Big crash there from George. Hopefully he's okay. Looks like he's given the thumbs up. He's back in the boat. Is he smiling?
Good,
maybe he's not smiling, but he's okay. That's what matters. So as he is heading back out. And let's see what we've got. And next up, we are going back into the regular guys for this air category. And we will be starting with Lucy Honegger. We've already seen her going for that big shaka. Maybe she's going to try that again. Look to try and get a little bit more rotation in it. But yeah, let's see what Lucy has. And then after that is Jamie Howard, Bals Muller, Lennart Neubauer, and finishing off the air category will be Gentle Cares.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! I'm excited. Yeah, there's a lot of coming out of the foot straps.
This is going to be good, yeah.
You were doing it last couple of days. Why do you think the kind of guys are coming out of the foot straps a bit?
It's difficult. I had the same problem yesterday as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you need to time your pop a bit different because you're going really fast. So if you kind of pop normal, you're kind of a bit too late.
Yeah.
And also you really have to wedge your feet in the foot straps because you have a lot more like forces acting on you.
Absolutely.
It just feels a lot more extreme.
Yeah, for sure.
So I kind of like made my foot straps a lot smaller.
Right.
I also put on some shoes to kind of stick a bit better in the shoes.
Make sure you're wedged in. Yeah, and just on screen there,
sure.
you guys saw the runs from... Oh, sorry, no, we have Micah Hooverman up now to finish off the air category. Sorry, I thought we'd had Micah already. George has just been, now we've got Micah Hooverman coming towards that ramp. Oh! And there's that air funnel again. Looked like she was a little bit further away from the boat there.
Same as with Tigo.
Yeah, with Tigo. But again, I think it's about holding your nerve. You've got to be going really close to that boat.
Yeah.
You don't want to go too far
and it's
away.
also quite a lot of pressure with the people watching you and also the live stream going on. It's a lot you think about.
And you could probably hear a drone following you.
Yeah.
You're going to be quite nervous. I always think about that now. You basically have a camera on you, following you all the time. It must be quite nerve-wracking. Yeah, Mike Overman just going down there, didn't quite manage to come back over the board. Super inverted there.
It's a bit more burnerish.
Like a burner, yeah.
It's
really
always
sick.
hard to tell in towing what the moves actually are.
Burner, air funnel.
Because you think you're doing an air funnel, then some guy come up to you and says to you, nice burner. So it's always a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So riders chilling out. As you saw on screen before Micah Hooverman went, that was the current standings so far before the air category's been put in. You can see the crowd starting to build as we reset. And yeah, as I said earlier on, that is now the end of the goofy riders. So the riders that are riding right foot forwards for that air category will now be going to the regular riders. So they will just be resetting. Beautiful view of Geneva there with that famous fountain. Interesting fact for you. Fivos, who is helping us with the live stream, also riding. He'll be competing tomorrow. Toes, at any one time, there is over 7 tons of water in the air coming out of that fountain.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lot of water.
Definitely, yeah.
So yeah, interesting fact for you. As we see Micah Hooverman heading out. She looks fine. She's smiling. It's all good vibes as they are resetting. And next up, we have Lucy Honegger, that up-and-coming Swiss rider. Went for the Shaka earlier. Is she going to go for another one? Let's wait and see. Either way, I'm excited, and I hope you guys at home are excited as well. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, let us know. Get involved. Ask us some questions. What moves do you want to see from the riders? Which rider do you think, or which 3 riders do you think will be advancing through? So it'll be 3 riders from the men's, 1 rider from the women's will be going through into the next round, or essentially into the finals. Yeah, and then the other 3 riders will be done. That's it. Towing is brutal.
That's it, yeah.
You get 1 go, 1 shot.
You go 1 try, yeah.
Yeah. So Lucy Honegger there, getting in that kind of crouch position, 1 hand on the winch, 1 hand on the mast. It's actually easier to lift the sail up with your mast than if you have an uphole.
Definitely,
if you have an uphole, it kind of wobbles your sail around a bit. It kind of starts
to wobble around, and you want to be as stable as possible, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So just lifting up with the mast, and actually it's quite easy because as you start to move forward, the wind starts to the apparent wind starts to get underneath that sail and lifts it up for you essentially, and you almost experience the sail like pushing against you.
Definitely, yeah. Especially when you go faster, you feel the sail like coming up, so you kind of have to push it down and stay on your toes a little bit.
You find you really have to lift it up. Yeah, exactly. Good to get the information from the Club VAS apparent wind manager. Andreas, you said that was your title. And that means, given that that is your title, we are going to be expecting big things from you in the tow-in tomorrow.
I'm going to try my best, yeah.
Try your best. That's all you can do, my friend. All you can do. Yeah, judging by what you were doing earlier, I think you're going to be fine. Comment coming in from Dostojewski. Sorry if I said your name wrong. T-Bone from Fivos. A T-Bone. So that is a switch forward. I would love to see that.
Definitely, yeah. We haven't really seen any forwards yet.
No. We don't, that is, of all the moves, that is the move that you need wind the most,
definitely,
essentially. Yeah. Those of you who are potentially learning forwards, anything like that, it's not a move you can kind of just roly-poly your body around. You need to have that sail and sheet in with that backhand to get you spinning around it. So to do that in tow-in is going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Interesting comment coming in from Kirillov. Are injuries more common in tow-in?
I feel like everyone talks about it, but to be honest, I haven't really seen anyone get injured.
No, I think it's pretty similar. I mean, and also for the amount that riders do it. It's not like riders are doing it every day.
Yeah.
Realistically, they're doing it at an event, or if there's been no wind for a little while and you're working somewhere, or you're somewhere where there is access to the facilities to do tow-in, you may going to do it once or twice. So, in terms of statistics, if you think you're windsurfing 50 days in a summer, you're doing tow-in 4 times. If you get injured in the tow-in, you could say, oh, there's more injuries, but equally, it's all relative.
You're not doing it that often, yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to do it that often. To be honest, now, other than define injury, you get a bit of a sore ankle, or you tweak your back or your shoulder a little bit, and then you go, oh, cool, I'll take a day off, like you would in windsurfing, and then you're fine straight. 2 days later, you're kind of okay.
Fine, yeah.
You don't really ever see any kind of serious injuries. We're quite lucky as windsurfers. Generally, the sport is quite safe. We're landing
you
on
always
water.
land in the water normally.
We're always landing on the water. It's okay. It's never too bad, too dangerous. Looks like the wind has picked up ever so slightly. You can see some of the riders out there floating around. Whilst that's not ideal because they're getting towed at 80 kilometers an hour, you don't really notice it that much. you know, you do have that apparent win. You can see from the drone there, I know the drone always makes it look glassier than it is, but there really isn't that much. The water's still beautiful and flat. As we see Lucy Honegger getting herself up and going. She'll be getting her feet back into those foot straps and making her way towards that ramp.
Back foot sliding
So you can see the crowd in the background there, Lucy Honegger. So you can see the sail trying to push up against her. Pushing down as she is going to let go. Super close to it. And there it is. Goes for a second shaka. Whoa. So she hit the ramp there at the perfect place.
Pretty much, yeah.
But it's scary, man. She was, for a second, you're like, she's too close to the boat.
Yeah.
She looks like she's too close to the boat. But that was perfect. Really hit it in the perfect position. Again, kind of went up for that shaka. But for any of you out there learning to shaka, you know, the hardest bit is getting that first bit of rotation.
Definitely,
you can kind of get into that position where the sail's horizontal, you're kicking that board up, but to then try and turn your body into the wind to get the rotation going is
really
one of the
hard.
hardest parts of it.
It took me quite a while to get the hang of it, yeah.
You know, it's such a hard move to learn. But yeah, full kudos to Lucy. You know, again, it's we've seen it a few times in towing, but it's again not such a common one. So yeah, big up to Lucy for doing that, for having a crack and getting involved here. Surf Centre Sud-West, my ankles hurt watching. Haha, good show, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, we hope hope you guys are all enjoying the show. And yeah, don't please think of these poor riders' ankles when you're relaxing and walking around this evening. Yeah, as I said, you know, that was one of the things that Yentl Cares said. You know, coming straight here from Silt, he was like, yeah, you know, obviously, if any of you watch Silt, you know, it was quite wavy. And doing the freestyle landing, you know, landing quite flat, he was like, yeah, my ankles did hurt a little bit, you know, after a few days there. Yeah, so next up then in the air category, we have Jamie Howard.
Oh, yeah.
Let's wait and see. Hopefully he's going to have, you know, he'll have strengthened his resolve. He'll have had a few minutes sitting there to kind of figure out, right, what went wrong earlier on. And I'm gonna look to try and hit the reset button and do something a bit different.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, we saw some nice things from him the last couple of days doing training. So I think he's gonna do quite well.
Yeah. We see Lucy getting towed in there. Looks like she might have maybe hurt herself a little bit. I'm not too sure. Jamie Howard there standing up, warming up, getting himself ready. And let's see what he's got for us. Representing the UK, of course. A couple of UK riders here. Jamie Howard, George Grizzly. Good to see a bit of a show coming. You know, UK Freestyle did have some real heavy hitters for quite a few years. And it's great to see some kind of other riders coming through. Obviously, George, you know, just signed that contract with Duotone International rider. He's going to be looking forward to a big winter of training on the new gear. And, you know, coming back to tour next year with a real bang and making a statement with his new sponsors. And then, of course, Jamie Howard, you know, looking to probably get back into the competing. You know, he did a bit more this year, and he'll be looking to, I think, you know, having chatted to him, he's going to be wanting to do a lot more of them next year as well, I think. As we are just hitting the reset button there, looks like we have Jamie Howard getting himself up and ready to go. Now that the rescue boat has got out of the way, I think Lucy Honegger is back on land, and I think she is okay. I saw a couple of the other girls just helped with her gear. Hopefully, yeah, it's just a minor kind of tweak. As we see Jamie Howard getting himself ready. The vibes, look at the vibes here on the platform. We've got a few of the riders sailing around, everyone chilling out. Jamie Howard with winch in hand, getting himself ready to go.
Oh, doing a standing start.
Standing start.
Oh, no.
Controversial. I'm not sure I would want to go with the standing start.
Yeah, no. Most of the guys tend to sit down on the board first and then stand up as this.
Yeah, every time I've ever seen someone try and do a shortcut and do a standing start or anything like that,
tricky.
It's never gone well. They've always dug the nose in and catapulted. That's the thing with freestyle boards now. They're so short. There's not much of a nose on them. As soon as you get that immediate acceleration like that, the nose is going straight in.
Especially in towing, you have to have your weight like really far back because you get towed forward. Normally in surfing or in freestyle, at least you want to keep your weight forward.
Yeah.
But in towing, you kind of have to lean back quite a lot to prevent the nose from coming down.
It's really counterintuitive, isn't it? Yeah,
Definitely.
it's kind of the opposite of what you'd normally think. And the same could be said with the sail. As I said, you feel like the sail's pushing up against you. As we see Jamie Howard lifting up, hopefully he's going to be looking to do something a bit different. You know, didn't have the best time with the combo one, didn't really manage to make a move. Currently sitting in kind of last place with the men's. So he'll be looking to go big on this one. Going super fast, heading towards that ramp. Let's go.
Oh.
And he stomps it down. Big slap with the board there. You guys probably heard it behind us as well. Looked like he nearly got pretty close to the rescue diver there. Jamie looking a little bit frustrated there. I think he wanted to stomp something a little bit more. Yeah, not ideal for Jamie there. But we'll just wait for a replay of that move.
There we have the replay.
So a bit of a replay there from the drone. Let's see it. So it went super big Pasco there, comes down. Again, kind of threw it forward there. Dare I say it, it looked like that that rescue diver was kind of in the way. And Jamie probably saw him and maybe freaked out a little bit. I know I certainly would have. Hopefully they get him out of the way a little bit. You know, perhaps he can sit a bit further out. Yeah. Jamie quite frustrated there. As I said, that was another one where if he landed and kind of, you know, if the wind had got on the other side of the sail,
he would have been able to like pushed it around a bit.
He'd have come straight round, but we can see him there smiling at the camera, sad face. He looks like he's pretty chilled about it. He's not too stressed. I think he's here for the good time, the good vibes. You know, I think he'll be DJ. He's also a DJ. He'll be playing some music for us one evening as well, I think. Sebastian coming in from Vesoul. Hi guys. Let's go in Geneva for a big show. See you in Vesoul next time. Absolutely, yeah. You were in Vesoul earlier this year.
Yeah, it was a really nice event.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
You had a funny tow-in story from there. You basically decided to land your move up the beach on the judges' table.
Yeah, the closer you get, the better. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's close, and then there's too close. And then let's head over to an interview with Jamie about that last move.
Jamie, how was it?
I mean, it was okay. Could have gone better, could have gone worse. But it's quite tricky. Like, it's quite a lot of wind coming from behind you, so it kind of fills the sail a little bit, but in not a normal way. But I flew in the air a bit, and I didn't land on that safety guy, so that's okay.
What about the wave on the boat?
The wave felt good, yeah. Yeah. We'll see.
Nice. Good luck for the next one.
Cheers.
Interesting points there from Jamie. So that wind actually is making a bit of a difference, especially,
yeah.
I guess, you know, he kind of went round that sort of burner Pasco kind of rotation really nicely, but coming back down, he kind of threw the sail forwards, but the wind was from the other direction.
It kind of prevented him from rotating
prevents
more, yeah.
that kind of last sort of flacker upwind 360 rotation there so that you can actually stomp it. As we see, Bals Muller up and riding that signature helmet on his head. Maybe it's important. Maybe they should all be wearing helmets. As he heads toward it, he's going so fast. Let's go of it. Oh, he went huge there. Huge Pasco there. Went super inverted there as well.
Yeah, a lot of air time.
Straight back on his board. Thumbs up, lifts the sail up. Off he goes, and he goes straight back in again.
That was pretty big, yeah.
Bowles here for the good vibes. So sinking a little bit. Let's see a little replay of that and see what he's got for us. I want to see that one from another angle. So coming in super fast there. Let's go. Doesn't leave much time to let go. Whoa, huge jump there, but
going for that double air.
Just gets caught in. Woo! Oh, he got so twisted up there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the wind's getting in the way there. Or maybe he just, you know, doesn't practice so much with the toe in. You know, as we said, it can be a difficult thing to try. Yeah. And let's hear from the man himself. Let's hear from Bowles about what happened.
How was it?
Wow! It's freaking gnarly. Now with the wind picking up, it got so freaking choppy. So before you actually hit the ramp, you're flying over the water surface. It's scary stuff. And also the speed of the wind. Damn, I always forget how crazy it is to go against that wave, but then you got to send it. It's gnarly. I kind of hate it and love it at the same time. But it's freaking dangerous.
Yeah, that's Bowles Muller, everybody. Yeah, Bowles, loves it and hates it at the same time. I suppose that's a good way to sum up windsurfing sometimes. I'm sure all of us have had that feeling. We all love windsurfing, but occasionally you have those sessions or you try something, whether it's scary or you just frustrating. You either love it or you hate it, or you do both of them at the same time.
The wind has picked up quite a bit now. You see it gets a lot more choppier now.
Yeah, sadly, yeah. It's really frustrating. It's that thing where the wind has kind of filled in where it's, you know, annoyingly windy for towing, but not windy enough for us to run any foil style. It's the one wind speed that we really can't do much on. As we see, Lennart Neubauer up and sailing. And let's see what he's got for us. He's sitting first overall at the moment, coming out of the combo category. Let's see what he's got for us with the air time.
Oh, and nice pass go.
No problem at all. No problem
at all.
Going massive there. Yeah, so I'm going to say he probably loves it more than hates it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, really, really silky smooth there. So really, it's going to be interesting to look at the replays there. What is he doing that the other guys aren't?
But you also saw it a bit on the landing, I think, that it kind of, the sail powered up weirdly.
So it looked like there, he really went into that kind of shaka position. Look there.
Yeah.
You know, leaving the sail horizontal and down so far back and almost turning himself back into where the wind is coming from. There. You know, and then just, landing like a cat, flipping the sail and showcasing why he is currently leading after the combo. And unless Jentel brings something massive out, I'm saying he's probably going to be leading after the air category as well. Really, really impressive from Lennart. You know, just talking with Bowles there with the interview, Bowles obviously, you know, one of the best riders in the business. And if Bowles says it's difficult and scary, it's difficult and scary.
Yeah.
You know, Bowles is generally one of those guys. He's not really scared of, or he looks like he's not really scared of very much. So yeah, if Bowles is saying it's scary, then, you know, it's scary. A couple of questions coming in on the YouTube channel. Don't forget, you know, if you guys want to ask any questions for the riders, tell us what moves you want to see, where you're tuning in from. Please let us know on Facebook and YouTube. Why in situations like this don't you put the sails on jet boards so freestyle can evolve and be fun and exciting? Because they would defeat the point of the sails, I think. The whole idea of these, they use the sail for the power, you know, the tow in. The whole idea is we can bring the show right into the beach to where it is. So yeah, I think it would kind of move away from the soul of windsurfing essentially. And whilst people could say that about tow in, I think it's kind of the perfect balance where we're kind of still using, you know, nature. You use a little bit of wind. The guys are, you know,
pretty much once you let go, it's like you're back winded in normal surfing.
Apparent wind.
Yeah.
Apparent wind. Kirill, not a question for the competition, but do you know what happened with Hugo de Souza? Hugo de Souza, yeah, one of the most talented freestylers coming out of Brazil. Yeah, I think he just moved in, I don't know, a different career. You know, sadly, you know, windsurfing is one of those sports it's tough to make a living out of. He was traveling an awful lot, and I think now he just, you know, is living in Brazil. It's one of those things, if you live in paradise, why leave? So I think he is, just living in Brazil. Not too sure if he's still windsurfing. But someone who still is windsurfing is Jentel Cares, up on your screen now, coming in hot towards that ramp. What's he got for us? He's going to need to pull something pretty big out the bag if he's going to defeat Lennart Neubauer. Let's see what he's got. Oh my God!
That was super clean.
Did you see that, sports fans? That's exactly what he needed to do.
A perfect pass go.
Oh, that was incredible. He came out planing.
Planed out of it.
Dude, yeah, I want to see the replays of that. That was insane. Oh, I mean, it may be hard for you to believe, but dare I say I am lost for words. Yeah, that was... Was that better than Lennart's?
I would say so. He done more of the rotation in the air compared to Lennart.
I think that was two rotations fully in the air.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. Replay in slow-mo. There it is.
1 and 2, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to say it was bigger. From that water cam angle, boy, he went so fast into it as well.
Yeah, and especially for the air category, I think it's better.
The travel as well. Yeah. He went so far in the air. Oh, the guys on the beach loving that. Got a big crowd in now. That was huge. So that, what a way to end the air category.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll just be interested to see the updated scores, which we will have coming up for you. But now it is time to go into that regular category. This is where things are going to get a little bit different. We want to see guys trying something, a bit different. We're going to see that regular stance in towing. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But let's go over to Jento Kers after that incredible move.
Okay, Jensen, how was it?
This was already a better run, I guess. I don't know what the judges score it because it's airtime, so they're gonna base it on the other tricks from the other guys. But yeah, it was fun hitting the wave. Pretty good.
You had a really clean landing.
Yeah, but the landing doesn't really count on this one, so yeah. But it's better to land safe and clean.
Ready for the next one?
100%. Normal stance.
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Nice to hear from Jento there. So while he says, it's not about the landing, it is still.
It is still
the
a little
riders
bit, yeah.
want to see a completed maneuver.
Yeah.
So yeah, perhaps he's being a bit.
I feel like it's more for the riders than for the crowd to get a good landing.
I think
It
so.
should make you feel a bit like
Absolutely.
you've done something nice, yeah.
Yeah. So first up, it looks like we have Bals Muller for this regular category. Let's see what he's got. Cheese roll! And there's the cheese roll. The traditional, well, not traditional for Bals, but not for anyone else. Pretty much his signature move these days. Cheese roll there in towing. Have we ever seen a cheese roll in towing before?
I
certainly haven't.
I haven't.
I
really,
haven't.
Yeah.
So here we go, coming in. Must be so hard in that backwinded position. Throws himself round. So he's essentially doing it like dead downwind.
Yeah.
With the current wind that we have now, it's frustrating that it's picked up. Whoa! Comes down, lands on his bum. That's going to sting a little bit. It's lucky he's wearing his wetsuit.
But it's nice to see a few of the riders try to mix it up a bit, not do the same stuff over and over.
Well, that's the idea of this regular one. We do want to see those regular moves. So it's not about doing those, essentially what would be in normal freestyle classified as a switch move. That kind of air funnel, burner. You could say the kind of Pasco-y sort of rotations. Yeah. We want to see something a bit different. We want to see guys going for shakas, kulos, konos.
Maybe some spocks.
Cheese rolls, shove it spocks, all those kind of different things. That's what we want to be seeing. You tried something a bit like that earlier on.
Yeah.
You kind of went for a shove it spock, I guess, but it turned into, what we call a gutter flip. So essentially like a kind of shove it cheese roll.
Yeah.
You tried that earlier and it was pretty sick. I got to say, it was awesome.
It's fun, yeah.
Are you going to be looking to try and repeat that in your qualification tomorrow, or
Definitely,
are you going to wait and see what the conditions bring?
Definitely. I think I'm going to depend on the conditions. If it's like flat, I maybe try to go for something where my back is facing the sail,
right?
Like a kono maybe or something.
Yeah.
But if it's a bit more choppy, it's easier to stay facing the sail. And I mean, stuff like that still counts as regular, because in normal surfing you do it like with the wind coming from your back.
Yeah.
So like a spock or like a cheese roll is still a regular move.
100%. So yeah, really sick from Bowes there. He's going to be really stoked with that one. Little cheese roll, not the cleanest landing, but full rotation on it, full send.
Definitely looks spectacular, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's going to be pretty stoked with that one. That's him sailing in now. see him behind us, looking pretty stoked with himself. Yeah, the guy's a stoke machine. Obviously he's got that dad power. He's got his daughter with him. He seems really happy.
Oh, and there you see Leonard, like his back is facing the sail.
Leonard in that kind of switch position, opting not for that. Wow, going for the Kulo Spock there. So Leonard Neubauer there goes for that kind of the full Kulo, which was really impressive. To get that, this is the kind of move where actually having that little bit of wind is probably going to help.
Definitely, yeah. It's
So
something you don't really see that often, some like flat water kulos.
To
and
pop
then go
out
for like a kulo bob.
Yeah.
It's definitely something new.
Yeah, and you may be wondering why he didn't just decided not to use the ramp. So for this one, you can choose to use it, if you want to or not. Obviously him deciding, I'm gonna just do it on the flat water. Go for just that kulo. He already made a bit of a statement with that that Pasco earlier on with the air category. So let's see a repeat of that kulo. So tried to pop round into the kulo Spock, just didn't quite manage to get himself round. But actually, the wind's kind of a good direction for him to do that.
Yeah,
the Spock bit, if he could have swung it round there, it kind of would have worked.
You get a bit of pressure in the sail.
So yeah, again, that just goes to show, the fact that he was kind of able to think about that and go, there's the tactics, the experience coming into it. He's not just a talented athlete, it's the mind behind it and the fact that he can think, maybe I will, try this, because actually the wind's picked up a bit. Right, I need to rethink my game a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also has a pretty decent score now, so he kind of has a bit of room to play with. Yeah.
100%, yeah, good point. Really good point. Yeah, he can kind of relax a little bit into it and go, cool, right, maybe I don't need to just stomp a culo, I'll try a culo spot.
Yeah.
And I know I'm sitting pretty. Remember, it's the top 3 going through. You don't need to come first, you need to come third.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, if you can come second or first, ideal. You know, but ultimately, yeah, you just need to come in that top. It's a 50% pass rate, you know.
For the qualification, it doesn't really matter which place you are. At least you're in the top 3.
Exactly, mate. Exactly, yeah. So he'll be pretty pleased with that one, and yeah. So next up, I think we have Yentl Kers, but I think they might be rejigging things slightly. But yeah, it looks like that is Yentl sitting out away from the pack in the yellow leader's jersey. So that will be him getting ready to be given the winch handle. I wonder what Yentl's going to be bringing out. What do you think? Predict something for us.
I think he's going to go double air culo.
You think?
That's, I think, one of his signature moves in towing.
True, yeah. He's one of the few riders. It's amazing. That move was like, came out really. It was Joop, and it was like 2015. Joop and Amado were stomping it. That was when it was first done. And since then, that was 8 years ago, and there's still only a handful of riders that can do that move consistently.
Yeah.
You know, they can actually go out there and do it. Everyone's trying it and over-rotating the culo, things like that, but to actually land that move, there's still only a handful of riders to do it, and Yentl is obviously one of them, 100%.
Definitely, yeah, especially in towing.
And that's it again. It's a different move in towing. You know, as we said, you can't use you don't get the whip from the wind to bring you round. You know, you need to do it with your body. And Yentl is such an athletic guy. You know, he's always doing backflips and running around and all this. So yeah, he's definitely got that kind of awareness in his body of, you know, rotations in the air and things.
Definitely, yeah. You see him also stepping back to the sail,
getting into that regular position. We're seeing the boat heading off. Let's see what he's got for us. He's heading towards that ramp. I'm predicting the double air culo. Oh! He flew straight out the straps. There's a lot of whooping going on. Didn't look too happy. I don't know. We have to see a different angle. Did he mean to do that? Did he?
I don't know. It's hard to tell from
I can't tell
angle,
from that drone angle whether it was a cannonball or whether he flew out of the foot straps.
That would also be something new, like a regular cannonball.
Yeah. I mean, that I wouldn't want to do a regular. I wouldn't want to do a normal cannonball.
Yeah,
but
no, I mean,
the regular cannonball is definitely not something we want to see. So yeah.
He looked like he kind of
he definitely went for that double air culo, but sadly, it looked like he just flew straight out the foot straps.
Yeah, it gets a bit more tricky with the chop as well. You kind of have to time your pop right. Yeah. Don't really miss the down part of the wake. It's quite easy to the nose just dives into it. Yeah.
So looking at the scores, actually, Leonard Neubauer sitting on top with an 11.87. Balsmuller in second with a 10.25. And then Yentl Kers sitting in third. So he will still be qualifying. But George is only just over 0.5 of a point behind Yentl, and he still has his regular to go. So it's going to be interesting to see Jamie Harrod in fifth, Tigo Court in sixth. Jamie Harrod trailing quite a bit behind George, 5.5. Sadly, that combo just letting him down a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what George does. George, realistically, is the only one who could overtake Yentl and get through into that next round. But Yentl will be really disappointed with that. You know, as we said before he took off, that double air culo is really... He's got that move down.
He got it on lock normally,
it looked like the nose of his board just went into the wave. He didn't quite manage to get it up, you know, off, get that proper lift off. But, you know, with the chop we've got at the moment, that is what makes it quite difficult.
It makes it tricky. You also have to hit the wake at a really specific angle. Yeah. If you go too straight at it, the nose just dives into it. So you have to kind of hit it at an angle. Yeah. And it's really hard to do it, especially with the chop.
For sure. Yeah, Yentl there putting his kit away. Maybe a bit frustrating, but he's going to be looking at George with a lot of intent. And dare I say, he's going to be looking at George going, crash, 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 crash. He does not want George to pull off something spectacular right now. And George is going to want to pull off something quite spectacular.
Definitely, yeah.
So next up, after Yentl, we have Micah Hooverman. Let's see what Mike has got for us. So she's getting straight into the foot straps to start with this. Interesting technique there. You've done a bit of the regular stance with the toe-in. How do you like to start?
I like to start normal, and then pretty much as Jente, once the sail is up and you have to boom, then you want to step in the footsteps.
So essentially like stepping into switch normal windsurfing.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Nice.
But the thing here, because the range accelerates so quickly, it kind of makes it a lot more scary
Harder,
to step in.
For sure. Yeah,
so I think that's why Mike opts to do it that way.
Yeah.
Because you're already secured, and then you pretty much just have to pull the sail up.
Exactly, yeah. You can kind of just relax into it.
But it also makes the start a lot harder. You see, like, her body position, she's like really over the board.
Yeah. So getting pulled up.
Yeah.
Interesting
it's
way
Mike.
to start, but is it going to work?
Yeah.
Is it going to work? This is a tense moment.
Yeah, she has it.
It looks like she's up and riding. It's such a weird position to be in. You're so twisted up. You can see kind of arms the other way as she lets go. Whoa!
Oh!
Kulo!
A nice Kulo from Micah.
Sick from Micah there. Just didn't quite manage to bring the sail back round, but perfect. Whoa, interesting way to sit back on her board as well. Sick one there from Micah.
Yeah,
that's going to give the boys a little bit of inspiration. Dare I say, you know, coming that way, you're going quite far downwind, but it's actually not a bad angle to be doing that Kulo. You know, you're coming at it. You're coming at it like, you know, across the wind on that kind of broad reach. You know, typically for a Kulo, you'd like to be a bit further across and upwind, but you can see, look, she carves right across towards it there, and there's that takeoff. Brings the sail super close to her body.
Yeah.
Awesome rotation there from Micah Hooverman, showing why she's the champ. And dare I say it, putting the boys to shame a little bit there.
A little bit, yeah.
Yentel's going to be looking at that going, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I just do that? Big smiles there from Micah Hooverman. Always a pleasure to have her at the events. Yeah, I was teasing her earlier about coming and sitting with me in the live stream booth. She doesn't love, you know, the talking and the interviews and stuff. But she's actually really good at it, which is really annoying. Because I love sitting and chatting to her, and she's such an inspiration for other women, getting them into windsurfing. You know, she said at all the events, wherever I am in the world, drop me a message. You know, whether it's tips or if you're looking for someone to sail with, anything like that. She's really open to all of that stuff, which is amazing to see from someone so high up in the sport. So yeah, she's a real great ambassador for the sport. And yeah, as I said, you know, with moves like that, you know, everyone's going to be looking at her with a bit of jealousy. So wherever you're watching
now
from,
they're gonna switch the wake again, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. So they are going to be switching the wake now after that. So we have, yeah, obviously Lucy won't be competing because she looks like she tweaked her, I think it was her ankle, but we're going to get confirmation. I think she's okay. She walked off the dock, so hopefully it's okay and just a small injury.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lucy will not be doing the regular. So it looks like Micah Hooverman will be advancing from today. And now we are switching it up, and we have Jamie Howard, George Grizzly, and Tigo Court. First up, Tigo Court. What's he got for us? Tigo is a Kulo man. He has got the Kulos on lock. So I'll be surprised if he's not going to go for that Kulo. But yeah, let's wait and see what he's got for us.
Oh, does he also has a front foot in the strap? Oh no, okay, it doesn't.
Let's see what he's got. There's the winch firing up there. So he's opting to do it the same way that you do.
Yeah, that's pretty much how most of the people are doing it. And you see him stepping into regular now.
And there, yeah, so that's exactly the way you were doing it.
Yeah.
So as you said, you like to get up and then essentially step round. Bit different to Micah, who's already set up. Tigo also opting to use the ramp. Let's see what he's got. Letting go. And there's that Kulo getting pretty high up, getting quite close to the drone there. Interesting to see that from another angle. Let's wait and see what he's got. So is he okay? I think he's okay. He gave a thumbs up, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just see that from another angle. He's smiling. All is good. Yeah, looks like he kind of stomped that Kulo.
Let's have a look from another angle.
So jump round again. Same as Micah, just didn't quite manage to bring the sail back round.
You also saw him letting go quite early. So he might have didn't have enough
It looked
speed,
like he did get a little bit tangled up.
Yeah.
It looked like he didn't quite manage to get the takeoff properly. You know, obviously it is very difficult now with this wind. You know, it adds a lot of chop. You know, to the ramp.
Definitely,
Ideally, you want glassy flat water in the lead up to that ramp, but it is a little bit choppy. But hey, these are the best riders in the world. They've got to adapt to it. You know, we saw Leonard Neubauer pull off everything he needed to be doing. You know, and of course, you know, he's at the top of the sport, literally. You know, after Silt. You know, but you know, he's on the podium. He's one of the best riders in the world. But you know, it's difficult for some of the other riders. So Tego now finished. Next up, we have Jamie Howard and George Grizzly. George Grizzly is going to be, you know, the big one to watch because if he performs well, if he does a really good move,
he might gonna kick out Yentl. Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's guaranteed. He needs to like really mess up to essentially not be. Oh, actually, sorry. I repeat, the scores have been updated. George is already in third. So Yentl's score has actually been downgraded. So his regular score is actually only a 1.7. It was a 3.5. So it's been downgraded to a 1.7. So it looks like George is already sitting in third. But scores can always change. So he needs to cement that lead. Jamie needs George to essentially catapult and do something really bad. And then Jamie needs to pull off like something big.
Yeah.
That's what we need to see. Jamie told me what he potentially is going to try. And it might be big. But given that the wind has picked up, he might change his mind. And just looking at the vibes there, here, taking a look at that big diving platform. We saw some of the riders jumping off it earlier before we got started with the competition. Yeah, it's just great vibes here at Tropical Geneva. We're very pleased to be here and putting on a freestyle show in front of people who would never normally see windsurfing.
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like Jamie is gonna go big. It's his last round pretty much of the day, so I think he might as well just send it and go big.
I think so too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think hopefully we're going to see Jamie going for something big. It looks like it will be Jamie up next. Taking in the vibes. There's the famous water fountain in Geneva. It's definitely the biggest water fountain I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm not sure you'd want to get too close to it.
No, not really.
7. Doesn't look like 7 tons of water, but apparently it is, as according to Phoebos.
Yeah, maybe you should have towing like over it.
Well, that's what I made that joke to Phoebos earlier. So yeah, looks like the two riders are getting ready. As I said, I think they're just resetting everything, getting ready as we are getting into the end of the day here. These are the last 2 runs of the day. It is Jamie Howard and George Grizzly. It looks like everything has been made up. Yentl Cares will not be getting through. George will be going through over Yentl, which is a big upset.
That's really big, yeah.
But George is going to be extremely stoked about that. He's already seeded. He did really well in Vesoul earlier on, the event you were at, the tow-in event.
Definitely, yeah.
And, he coming into it in a pretty good position for the tow-in rankings. And he was really nervous about it. Obviously, he's on that brand new gear as well. And he was kind of saying, I really hope I qualify, first event on the new gear, under the new contract.
Yeah.
And he was a bit nervous about it. And then for him to come out of this and get straight through into Saturday, he's going to be very pleased with, Yentl perhaps not so much.
Happy, yeah.
But Jamie Howard could still pull something spectacular out of the bag. As I said, if George crashes, catapults, doesn't really rotate at all, and gets a 1.75, something like that.
You pretty much just have to catch a rail. And then
if Jamie can get 5 points and George only gets 1.5 points, they might be on equal. So I'm not really too sure how that works. But yeah, if Jamie pulls something big out of the bag and George crashes, then Jamie could jump up and replace him. Yeah.
So
yeah, Tego with that cooler only coming in at a 2.25, so not especially high score. The judges want to see, with the regular, they want to see you land it. Yeah. They want to see it getting stomped. Some of the other riders there enjoying the show. These are the riders who are up tomorrow. We've got Steven van Broekhoven, the most successful European windsurfer of all time, with a couple of the young Brouwersdam Rippers. They're enjoying the show, probably watching, figuring it out, getting ready for tomorrow, and also just having a beer and enjoying the vibes. Which is what we love to see.
I guess the boat is doing a bit of a practice run.
It looks like they are just getting themselves sorted. I think they might be rejigging the course ever so slightly.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't forget, guys, we will be doing the same thing again this time tomorrow, but with 6 different riders. Andreas, you are going to be one of those riders. Which of the 3 sort of aspects of the towing qualification are you most looking forward to? We've got the combo. We saw the combo first earlier. We saw the air, and now we're just finishing off the regular. Do you have a plan for each one, or are you gonna? Is it kind of a go with the flow, see what happens kind of thing?
I think I have a plan a little bit. I'm most looking forward to the regular one, because I'm not gonna go with my back to the sail like you saw the other riders doing it today I'm gonna try something a bit new.
Bit more like bowels.
Yeah, a bit more like balls.
Yeah, you're gonna try something different. Don't
Yeah.
tell us now. We don't
I'm
wanna
not gonna
know.
tell. No,
Nah, good. Yeah, don't tell us. We don't want to know. We want to. Yeah. We
No,
wanna
for me,
wait
the
and
favorites are definitely the regular one and also the sanded one for the finals.
Yeah.
If I make it to the finals, we will see.
If you may, oh,
Yeah.
that's good though. That's a good way to think about it. You know, I said that to a couple of the guys. You know, especially like George and stuff. He was like, oh, you can get quite negative in your head, and oh, I
Definitely,
don't
yeah.
think I'm going to make it through, and all this. And you talk to Lennart and stuff. Obviously, they've got the level as well, but they're like, no, I'm going to get through.
Yeah.
And you know, there is a certain level, I think, of
It's a lot
dare
about
I-
the mindset.
mindset. Exactly. You know, the perfect word for it. You know,
If you just think about going into it positive and you just think about having fun and maybe try your best, then it's gonna work out. yeah.
absolutely. It's that fine line between, you know, thinking about it enough that you're prepared, but not overthinking
Yeah.
to the point where you're kind of can't quite figure out what,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
you're like, oh, and you end up kind of freezing up a bit. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, as we see, it looks like the boats have gathered up. I'm not too sure what's happening. We're just waiting for confirmation. But yeah. So apparently, I think they are moving the. As you said earlier, they need to like move the weight
Yeah.
to the other side. So basically, Jamie and George are going to do their moves the other way around.
Yeah. They have like, I think they told us yesterday, like 1.5 tons of water in the boat.
Yeah.
And so they pretty much have to pump that to the other side to kind of change where the wake is.
Exactly, and then that's what creates that massive wave.
Yeah.
Having, you know, the more weight you have in the boat, the more of a wave it's going to kick up. But obviously, yeah, as we said, that takes a little bit of time. So yeah, they're just getting themselves prepared. But in the meantime, yeah, if you're going to go and crack yourself a beer, like some of the riders who are on tomorrow were doing earlier, get yourself ready. As we see a beautiful view there of Geneva. And speaking of beautiful views, here we are. Here we are in the studio. Yeah. So, talk me through a little bit more. Then, you know, you did quite a lot of towing in the summer.
Yeah.
Did you, when you're kind of learning the towing, are you concentrating on like learning new moves, or are you kind of just trying to figure out how to do the moves you can already do in towing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was I started doing towing quite early in my like windsurfing career.
Right.
So pretty much at the level where I just was able to do like spocks and funnels, I started doing towing.
Okay.
So for me, it was kind of like doing moves I already know and also trying new stuff.
Okay.
I learned a couple of moves in towing first before I could do them in normal surfing.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
bit
really?
weird. For example, like burners or also like shove it spock-ish kind of stuff. So I could do them first in towing, then I could do them in normal surfing.
That's crazy.
So that's a bit, yeah.
How was it then going from towing to being able to do it in?
I mean, the good thing in towing, you pretty much have the same conditions every try.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like a windsurfing lab. You get like the same speed, the same pressure to say, like, it's always the same.
That's a nice way of looking at
It's
it, a
nice way to
windsurfing
look at
lab.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like in normal surfing, you kind of have to look for the gust, and maybe you have a weird chop coming, so it's always a bit different. But with towing, it's every time the same. So it makes it a lot, for me, it makes it easier to learn new stuff or to figure it out.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Was it, so something like a shove it spock and things, that's not a move that we generally see in towing.
Yeah.
Was that, were you did you literally go, yeah, well, I want to, because I remember you were doing spocks in towing, which is not a move you traditionally see in towing at all.
Yeah, that was the thing. When I started doing towing, I was just like at the level of like spocks and all the basic things.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I could do. So I started doing it in towing as well. You have to do it a bit more different. It's more like a shove it spock for me, because you don't have like the wind that's gonna pull the sail around. You kind of have to push into it to get like lift and to get the clue around. So it kind of helped me with learning shove it spocks as well.
Yeah, yeah, because exactly. It's a different towing. You know, the towing is different because, like we've been saying the whole day, you have that like back-winded feeling all the time. The sail's pushing up against you. So for the shove it spock, you're gonna push out, and that must really help.
And towing spock is pretty much a shove it spock a bit. Normally for a spock, you kind of pull to get like a bit of the whip going.
Yeah. We call it the chainsaw rev.
Towing spock, you kind of like push into it more.
Yeah.
So for me, it helped quite a lot to like transition the towing stuff to the normal surfing.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. A couple of comments coming in. Just a second time for George in regular stance towing. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he's only done it a few times. I know he's done an awful lot of towing back in his days when he worked at Club Vast, things like that. But I think it was just the kind of funnels, you know, that sort of thing. I don't think he's done much regular stance stuff. I'm not sure he's going to go for the regular stance ducking moves like the culos, things like that, that we saw them doing. I think he's going to opt for something a little bit more like what you were saying. You know, something a bit different. So it's going to be interesting to see what George goes for. Jamie, as I said, I've got a good idea of what he's going to go for, but I'm not too sure yet. And then we've got another question. What is sail size do they use? So I know that George is on a 4.0. I know that Jamie is on a 4.0. Chatting to some of the other riders, there's kind of a bit of a mix. Some of the riders like to use 4.0 because it's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
You can kind of get a lot more width. There's a lot less mast. You know, you're not going to catch the water, anything like that. Some of the other riders say they prefer to use 4.4 to get a little bit more lift. So it kind of differs from rider to rider. Tell me, what do you prefer?
I normally go on 4.0.
Right.
I feel like smaller sail makes it easier to rotate.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, if you want to go high, you also want a bit of lift.
Yeah.
So like a bigger sail gives you more lift, but it's going to make it harder to rotate. So it's a bit of a trade-off always.
Which one do you generally like to go for then?
I pretty much always go 4.0.
4.0?
Yeah. Maybe if we have like a bit of a slower boat, where you want a bit more like pressure on the sail, like maybe go 4.4. But pretty much no one goes bigger than 4.4.
Right. Yeah,
you don't really need it,
You never see guys using 4.8 and things.
Yeah.
And also, it's difficult. It comes back to what we were saying earlier about the initial kind of lifting the sail up out of the water. You know, because you have to lean right over it. If you're on a 4.8 or something bigger, the clue's going to be dragging in the water, isn't it?
Yeah.
You even see it with the smaller sails. Yeah, exactly. You know, you want to be on that smaller sail. But with that, let's take a little look at some of the highlights from the action so far today. So Jamie Howard here, this first run just he didn't quite get the nose in to get that rotation, did he? Yeah, it's not what he wanted at all. It's literally exact same crash that Tigo had.
And nice
Someone who did
burner,
manage to get the rotation is Leonard Neubauer.
That was perfect.
Air funnel, the torque on that, the twist jumping around that burner. Yentl going for that second air funnel, just
getting out of the straps.
Looks like he landed on the board. It's like he wasn't wearing a harness. It looked like he would have broken his board. He kind of came down on it. George jumping around
more
that
like for the funnel shaka kind of.
Yeah, with that flakka shaka kind of style. You can see jumps round. There's that sort of. It's more of a flakka shaka. Some of the riders, it's different styles, isn't it? Jamie with that big Pasco there, just didn't. It looked like he saw that guy in the water
and just bailed out of it.
It looked like he bailed out of it. Yeah, sadly, that's really unlucky for Jamie. Yeah, but again, also like you said, the sail kind of opened itself out a bit. Bowles going massive there, coming down. Really looked like his hands got ripped off the boom. Any windsurfer will know that's not a fun thing to happen.
No,
but came down really well. Really, brought the board back under.
Yeah, you can't really tell what happens sometimes. You have a lot of factors that you have to take into consideration in towing.
I mean, that's what we want to see.
Yeah.
This angle is my favorite one. You just see, it goes so far.
You just see the amount of control.
Lands like a cat, just knees bent, ready to go. And speaking of perfect landings, this one was better. Look.
That was like fully in the air, the second one.
Yeah, that was sick. Jumping around. He goes so far.
Yeah.
He travelled so far in the air, landed it perfectly. Here's that cheese roll. Rolling the cheese. That's what we love to see there from Bowles Muller, Mr. Freestyle. Again, just didn't quite get the landing though, did he?
Yeah, it's hard to get the lift for the cheese roll.
Yeah.
See Mike
with a big culo there, but just didn't quite manage to bring the sail back onto the other side.
Goes down on the landing a bit.
Yeah, really tough landing there. So some good action. Favorite move of the day?
Favorite move of the day. I mean, we still have George and Jamie, so I think I'm gonna wait for them.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's big talk. I like that. For me. It's got to be Yento's Pasco for sure.
Yeah.
Yento's Pasco. I mean, it was.
One,
Leonard's was amazing. But like Jentel's one, it was just so like landed just that little bit cleaner, just
Yeah,
woof,
a little bit.
completely planing.
Bit more air.
A bit more, yeah, a bit more air. You know, kind of came down the rotation a lot more in the air. You know, Lennart's kind of landed and kind of spanned the last
Thing on the water,
270 degrees, you know, sliding around the water, which is, of course, can't take anything away from it. He still landed it really clean. But Jentel was more of that kind of stop landing.
Especially when we take into consideration like the air category, when you want to spend as much time in the air as possible.
Yeah.
So that's definitely better for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, just looking at some of the action from today. But looking to tomorrow, we've got some heavy hitters in that competition. Obviously, Steve van Broekhoven, can't say his name without thinking of freestyle windsurfing. Sam and Steve, of course, like he's Mr. Triple Air rotation.
Yeah, with the world first triple air rotation of the last event.
And then, of course, Fivos as well. Fivos Supras. You know, he's a big rider. You know, in the tow-in discipline. Earlier on, he did a kind of clue first air flacker Canabrava, you know, thing, and it was incredible. So it's going to be interesting to see if he does something a little bit different like that as we move into the second round of qualification tomorrow. But I have a little treat for everyone joining me in the booth. Huge thanks to Andreas for calling some heats with me. But yeah, joining me in the booth is our current world champion, Mr. Jentel Kers. Jentel, how was it?
Sandy.
How was it?
Yeah, towing is always fun to do. It didn't really went my way, you know.
Yeah, it looked hard.
But yeah.
That wind looked like it was just making things a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, the wind always makes it a little bit difficult because it was right in our back, actually. But, you know, it's for all the riders the same, so that's how it goes and that's how it is.
Yeah, that's it. It's a fair game, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You still managed to stomp that the air move, that Pasco, you know.
Yeah, but that doesn't actually count, so...
Does that kind of rotation, you know, different in the wind? You know, we saw like Lennart really trying to bring himself back round to actually where the wind was fully coming from, and that's what made the real difference for his one compared to something like Jamie's. And then you did your one straight away and kind of did the same thing. You were really trying to like throwing your body into it a little bit more, whereas, you know, in the wind you can kind of use the sail to get that rotation a bit.
Yeah, you kind of the idea is to stay like really above the sail.
Yeah.
And then you kind of hit a wind like a wall, and you just start spinning.
Yeah.
I see a lot of the other guys sometimes like try to take off too much and like they rotate under their gear.
Yeah.
While like you saw Lennart, really stay above the sail. I cannot say it for myself because I didn't see mine, but
yeah.
That one felt good, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, as I said, you know, yours and Lennart's did look quite different from some of the other riders. Bowles is maybe a bit different, but Bowles just went crazy, man, as he always does.
Bowles is doing Bowles things.
Bowles is doing Bowles things, but yeah, that's been an interesting thing. You know, we saw it a lot yesterday as well. And, you know, a lot of the guys were coming up to you and asking for tips, and you were kind of like, I don't really know what I do.
You know, the thing is with towing, I really don't really know what I do because I do it like twice a year.
Yeah.
So sometimes I go and I just do the biggest moves, then it just works, and then the other times you have like now that you kind of struggle. But you know, that's what it is, and I also didn't really do a warm-up or anything. Because my ankles are a bit sore from the competition in Silt, and I try to save them as much as possible.
Yeah.
I'm actually here to do the foil style. That's my main thing.
Yeah. And you've been training quite a bit of the foil style, you know, kind of over the last few months. You know, what I said yesterday, we've kind of seen it on Instagram, things like that. You are putting clips out of you know, still training that foil style. You know, obviously you're traveling around in the van, you go into all these different spots, you get there and it doesn't look so windy. You kind of those 13, 14 knot days where usually you'd kind of go, well, you know, I'll go somewhere else. Whereas you can actually jump straight on the foil and go and enjoy a session.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Before I was not really into the foil style till this winter. The new foil of Neil Pride came, and that just opened a different world. You know, like a good foil, it makes so much different.
Yeah.
And definitely, now I enjoy it a lot. You go to the spot, and it's just not enough wind to windsurf. You just put the foil under there, and you have a lot of fun. You do big moves, and once it just gets windy, you just have the same sail. You put your freestyle board under there, and you go on the water. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, and so that makes it really exciting, you know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of exciting on screen here, I mean, talk me through what happened here. This one, it looked like you took off a little bit weird, and just sort of the board didn't quite get that release there.
Yeah, actually, I don't really know what I do. It's just see it by myself for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, I just got cut into the wave. You know, the board got cut.
It
in
didn't.
the
Yeah, it
chop.
didn't. It didn't get that hit.
I didn't really get the pop. So yeah, the safest way was just to get out the straps and try to save the ankles and the knees instead of getting completely stuck into it. And yeah.
That's it. It was quite interesting. You know, we were talking about it earlier. You know, someone asked a question. And for those of you, if you do have any questions for Yentl, please ask us, whether on Facebook or YouTube. But someone was saying, you know, kind of, do you get injured more in towing? Do you, you know, do you get injured more in towing, or do you get injured more in normal windsurfing? And we were kind of like, well, you do towing a lot less, so it's quite hard to say, really.
Yeah, but 100% sure towing is way more risky.
Yeah.
That's, I think, why you also see a lot of top riders doing it less and less, because the risk is so much higher to injure yourself, because you really often have that the board gets stuck or the rail gets stuck a bit.
You get those big rail catch slams,
the rail
don't
catches
you?
are
horrible.
nasty.
Yeah, we've seen a couple today already.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes it looks really bad, and actually doesn't. The rider is like laughing and doesn't nothing happen, but you know they can be really hard.
Yeah.
With the toe in, we also go much faster than in normal windsurfing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
80 kilometers an hour the winch goes, and as you can see there on screen, guys, we have our confirmation. Actually, the rope for the winch actually snapped, so that's why there is a short delay here. So I think the guys are just replacing, I think, or repairing the rope for the winch, and then it will be the two final guys going up. Yeah, we've got George Grizzly and Jamie Howard, the two UK riders that are here with us. Obviously, yeah, George will be looking to do it. So from what I gather, if George has a shocker, and if George, you know, crashes, you know, catapults, anything like that, and Jamie does something really big, Jamie could jump up into third place.
Sneak in the third place, exactly.
Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting. Who would you say your money's on, George or Jamie?
Oh, this one is a pretty tricky one, because I didn't see from both riders any normal stance moves yet happening. You know, most people do the switch moves. What's technically in toe-in is the normal stance.
Yeah.
But yeah, to go the regular way in toe-in, especially like now when there is a little bit of wind and chop, is not that easy.
It actually looks like the wind has, looking behind me, it looks like the wind has actually completely died.
So yeah, that gives a good opportunity for
make
the
their
guys,
life. Yeah, they're probably going to be pretty pleased with this delay. As you can see in the camera there, the water's gone super glassy as we get into that kind of twilight end of day vibes here at Tropical Geneva. But yeah, George looking a bit tired there. Both the boys kind of waiting to come in, but they're good mates. You know, sitting out there looking around, it's not that bad. You can see they both look pretty chilled out.
Someone should bring him a beer.
Exactly. Well, yeah, we saw Stephen and a couple of the young Browsdown guys sitting on the rocks with a beer, enjoying the vibes. Obviously, they'll be up tomorrow. I guess that'll be your plan now. To sit and enjoy
watch the guys and
enjoy
the show with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what more can you ask for, really?
Yeah, maybe some wind so we can do some foil style.
Some foil style. Yeah, well, someone said there was a rumor potentially
Sunday
over the weekend. Yeah, there
maybe Sunday afternoon could be.
There may be a little bit of wind. Yeah,
so let's fingers crossed that we get that and get the towing show going, and then have foil style on Sunday.
Do some foil style, yeah. Since Italy, obviously, you know, we had such an interesting discussion in Italy, you know, on the first day with the kind of judges and you guys, and you were one of the main guys that was like, look, we're all still learning this, you know, we're trying to fill a score sheet and things. And then you guys got on the water and we went out and we saw everyone just doing insane moves. You know, talk me through the kind of level of foil style and what that's been like to see, you know, over this year, and then as you guys have been training over the summer, doing it a little bit more. You know, what's that been like to kind of see that? And have you been sailing with any of the other riders over the summer?
Yeah, I think Balls and Jack, the two brothers, are like the pioneers of the foil style. They have been doing for so long. So for me, they are like still the top guys. I mean, it's a different story if you have to put it in competition, but, you know, if you see their videos and you sail with them, what they can do on the foil is crazy. Like, moves that we don't even know the names from, they are doing it all on the water. For the rest, you have Steven, you have Tim, Bodie, Tigo, the Dutch team. They're all really good. Sam and Steve. Like, there is so many guys actually really stepping it up. Everyone looks like they're really enjoying it now. As the last few years, we barely saw anyone. So that's really cool to see. The hard part is now still that we are with not so many, that everyone is kind of training still on his own, like when they're just around at the water. Just before we came here, actually, we stopped at Balls Place and we sailed with 5 guys foil styling together, and that was pretty cool just to see which moves other guys were doing, because everyone has a different approach of certain things, and so those were pretty cool to sail together. I was really hoping to get some sessions in here with all the guys on the foil and just see the progression.
Well, it's one of those things. I feel like, you know, the event in Italy, it was a bit of like a catalyst for that. You know, suddenly all the guys doing it together. You know, even, you know, chatting to George, who's heading off to Brazil in a couple of weeks. You know, he was kind of intent on taking, you know, different gear. You know, kind of taking wing gear to go on those lighter days. But now he's like, no, you know, he's got some of that duotone, you know, foiling gear, and he's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to do that instead, and I'm going to practice the foil style, because now it's kind of become the discipline of, you know, we're going to do that in the kind of lighter winds at these events.
Yeah, exactly, and that's cool to see that with doing the event in Vieste, that more guys are like getting interested in it. And yeah, like this, we can try to kill the winging as well.
Well,
me personally, I didn't touch my wing gear anymore since I started.
Because you've just been doing foil styling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I still have it laying in the garage, but I didn't touch it
Choose
anymore.
to foil style instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any special moves that have come out of it this summer? You know, trying anything different, or is it very much? I was speaking to Andreas about this with the toe-in, but you know, with the foil style as well. Any is it kind of just a case of you trying to learn the moves that you can already do on a fin, but just translate them into the foil style, or like you said, Bows and you know, Jack and stuff coming up with these completely new moves? Are you more focusing on just learning the moves you already do on a fin?
Yeah, the focus is for sure on the moves you learn on the fin, but seeing Balls and Jack doing this slappy moves, they call it, is like something in between a culo and a bob or whatever, you know, they throw the gear a bit more.
Yeah.
A different rotation. It's pretty fun to do on the foil. It's it's just something different. So you try to combine all the things you can do. But yeah, it's a learning process, you know, getting the foil style going. Like in Vieste, I was telling to everyone, like, the Pasco I learned was my cheat code.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
And now everyone kind of does it, you know. But that's cool to see the progression, that everyone sees that, this is a good move, and it's pretty simple on the foil.
Yeah.
And then everyone get into it, so that's that's nice.
Yeah. What do you think the next? Have you come into this event with a bit of a cheat code? Obviously, you know, fingers crossed we get the forecast at the weekend, but
I don't think I have cheat codes for Balls and Jack, but
no.
Yeah, maybe if we had a bit of wind here, like, it could be some nice chop in this lake if we had the direction, so we could have seen like push loops and back loops. Pretty easy on the foil. Like,
those kind of like wave moves, more like.
Yeah, but you barely need any wave for it. Well, that's the cool part of it.
Yeah, because you get so much more lift from the foil. You know, as we saw in Italy.
It's like jumping on a trampoline.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You just push it down and it shoots you up like crazy.
Yeah. What about things like, you know, the shifties and things like that? You know, we've seen Bows doing them on the foil all the time, but you know, off waves as well. You know, obviously we've seen a few shifties on, you know, flatter water. You know, is that a move that you think we're going to start seeing in the foil style a lot more?
100%.
Yeah.
I think you will see them soon on like 5.2s as well here.
Because that's what makes the difference as well. You know, we were chatting to, obviously I've spent a lot of time in Greece, in Vasiliki, and there's a rider out there called Will.
He should have been here.
Who should be here, yeah. I'm sure you've seen his clips as well. And I kind of spoke to him in the summer, and he kind of said, oh, well, I kind of only ever really do foil style on like a 4.4 or a 4.0, and he's like, all the guys in Viesta were doing it on 5.2 and things, and he's like, I don't know if I can do it. So is sail size something that really comes into it as well?
Yeah, it's really depending, because the lighter riders, you know, they will also always take the smaller sail, and it's the same in normal windsurfing with fin surfing. The guys who are used to the 5.2 in normal windsurfing, they probably also easier for them to use the 5.2 on the foil, because they're just used to the bigger sail. But I'm sure that I've seen the videos of him. He can do it easy on the 4.8. Maybe sometimes can be easier because things get slowed down. What just gives you more time. But you anyway go so high up in a foil.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, It's a tough one with the foil style, but we have just had confirmation there. It looks like we will be finishing the competition today. So Jamie and George will be looking to do their runs tomorrow before we go into qualification 2. Obviously, yeah, we have had a couple of problems with the winch, so they're replacing the rope, but also due to the laws here in Geneva, everyone has to be off the lake by 7 p.m., all water sports users.
When sunset is, they have to be off, so...
Exactly. So yeah, actually,
that's right at this time now.
I think the winch, it looks like they've actually sorted it out. I saw them, dragging it out into the water and things. But yeah, to make it safe and make sure that we don't get in any trouble and make sure that we're allowed to continue to run, we will bring the boys in. Oh, so they've been sat out there for a little while. It's maybe they're getting a bit cold,
a bit chilly.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not so fair. So the boys will be coming in and they will get a chance to kind of look at, fingers crossed for tomorrow. Who's your money on for qualification round 2 then? Obviously, we've got some heavy hitters. We've got Steven van Broekhoven, we've got Sam and Steve, but we've also got some wild cards. We've got Andreas Rossler, who was in the booth earlier with me. He was doing some really cool moves earlier on during that practice round. Obviously not as experienced. And then, of course, Fivos Supras, training a lot in Germany, doing a lot of toe-in, did some, again, moves that we don't usually see, and that's what the judges are really going to enjoy. Who's your money on? Who are you excited to see tomorrow?
I'm definitely excited to see Sam. He's the master of flying around, spinning how many times he can.
Yeah.
Fivos is doing, he loves the toe-in. He especially comes here for the toe-in only. He's not doing the foil, so it's going to be excited to watch him. Steven is hard to bet against. He's always good.
Yeah.
He is not doing the toe-in so much anymore. Just a bit scared to injure himself, what I completely understand in many cases.
But every time he does it, he always does it so clean and so well.
He just does like one and done.
Yeah.
So it's hard to bet against him. But for sure, the younger guys, they're less fearless. They're just sending it. They can go big. And the wave definitely here helps to go big.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Well, as I said, that is it for today's show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, you can keep up with all the behind-the-scenes action at Freestyle Pro Tour on Instagram. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel as well for updates on what will be happening tomorrow. It will be at exactly the same time, but obviously there will be some fun going on during the day as well. So, yeah, as I said, make sure you give us a follow on Instagram. That's it from us. Thank you very much, Jentel, for joining me. Thank you to Andreas for joining me earlier on. We hope you guys have a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow.